Boeing 757, the most iconic, beloved, mid-sized, narrow-body, twin-engine airliner known to be the Ferrari of the skies, as both the -200 and -300 are powered by two RB211s or two PW2000s, making them powerful enough to handle high-demanding situations like short runways. With an ETOPS rating of 125, this made it one of the most versatile aircraft, as it can either fly to short-haul or long-haul routes depending on the airline and its usage. I've been around this aircraft a couple of times, where in my lifetime I've got a few sights of it with US Airways and Aer Lingus, queer fungus. Spotted a few of them, flown it on infinite flight, loaded and offloaded and wing walked it with United. And now, for the first and probably my last time ever, I will be flying on this aircraft for real. I was considering United Airlines or Delta Airlines, however I'm not bothered to go through the effort of saving and paying thousands of euros for a US trip, especially when you have tickets that are just too hot for my debit card to handle. There are a few airlines in Europe I was also considering, like Jet2, which are still operating their -200s to certain routes, but that won't last long as they will be retired by 2025. Icelandair also operates the -200s and -300s, as well as their Boeing 767-300s, which could be in the cards, as Heathrow and Charles de Gaulle have the most frequent operations with those aircrafts. The problem with those two is that they are very inconsistent with their aircraft selections on certain routes. If you want to fly Jet2 from Manchester down to Tenerife on their 757, best believe you are either getting their Airbus A321ceo or neo, or 737-800 instead. Same as Iceair, if you want to fly up to Keflavik on the same aircraft, chances are you are getting a 737 MAX. I know you're going to be asking me, what about Azul Air? I know, I don't really want to consider them because the country of Russia is in the middle of a conundrum at this moment of time. So the only airline I chose that is more consistent with their 757 operations is Condor, the airline with the striped fuselage, who also happens to be the launch operator of the -300 variant, typically known as the flying pencil or sausage. Okay. I'm curious to see what it's like to fly with Germany's low-cost leisure carrier for the first time, as I've heard that they are very good with their service. But I'm going to lower my expectations for this flight because I don't know if I'll get the same as what I saw on YouTube. So yeah, let's get straight into it. My trip begins at Terminal 1, where you can see that it's not really that busy. Up above there is an iconic split flap flight board display that is still going strong since the early 70s. Condor uses this terminal along with Lufthansa and its fellow Star Alliance airlines, including its children Discover and Air Dolomiti. I've already checked in online and I'm traveling light, so let's head over to airside through security. I'm going to be flying this pencil down south to Palma de Majorca, which is one of the most popular travel destinations among German tourists, ranging at over 1.8 million tourist arrivals from other regions in Spain. Condor operates this route 3 times daily on their 757, starting off as flight 1772, which departs in the early morning before sunrise, then flight 1504, also departing in the morning but after sunrise, and finally 1498 departing in the afternoon, which is the flight that I'm going to be taking in this video. You know, it's actually quite a coincidence because this is the same flight number that Swiss 001 took in his video. However, his 757 is on the old livery, which leads me to the next part where I'll be revealing which one will be my ride, as I predicted on Instagram one of the 4 stripes and the 50th anniversary tattoo livery. So let's head back to Dublin and find out, shall we?
So in 3, 2, 1. Come on.
Not gonna lie, I've never celebrated this hard to fly in a 757 livery looking like a striped 13 colony candy cane Austrian Wally. It was either going to be blue or red, but thankfully I was blessed by the aviation gods with the red one. Delta Alpha Bravo Oscar Mike is a 24-year-old 757-300 who started flying with the airline since May of 2002. 2 months later of that year, it was then transferred to Thomas Cook in July. Eventually in May of 2004, it was then brought back to Condor whilst having various aesthetic transitions until it was painted into the refreshed Thomas Cook livery in late 2018. 4 years later, in March of 2022, it ultimately became one of the few to be painted into the new livery in its passion colours. This is also going to be a blessing for me, as the plane stopped at Dublin back in May of this year to pick up the Leverkusen football team after their 3-0 loss against Atalanta. Anyways, my flight will be boarding at gate B1, which is situated beside the security lane. Luckily, I didn't have to make a run for it, considering the fact that the aircraft is already parked at the stand. Would be great to do some gallivanting, however, I'm only restricted to gates B1 to B9, so instead I've only decided to go upstairs to spot some more Condors for a bit. I want to know your thoughts about this livery in the comments down below. Do you like this livery or do you still hate it? Because at the time, back in 2022, I uploaded a video making fun and roasting Condor's livery because of how hideous it was. I hated it with passion at the time, I just didn't like it. But now as time went on, seeing a couple of colors, not gonna lie, I'm liking this livery 10 times. You know, seeing the green livery, I'm actually starting to get used to it now, especially after it has been feeding my page like a grandmother who just constantly feeds you chocolate cake. Anyways, time for me to head downstairs to board my flight.
Because ich weiß nicht, warum die nicht the way everybody is just coming in packed. Boarding is disorganized, bro. Online. Same thing is in Frankfurt are pretty much the same thing. It's gonna look long, bro. For the bus.
After persevering through the large crowd, I've made it towards the shuttle bus. So prepare for a mini airset bus tour where we catch a few Lufthansa 321s and their trusty underpowered A340-300. Absolute stunner. Still amazes me how she's still flying till this day.
To this day!
Now, time to find Wally. Has anyone seen him? Oh, there he is, right in front of us. Let's take a closer look at her, shall we? And here we have it. My ride in Roja, or the Rot. Translation for red in Gelga, Espanol and Deutsch. You can see the aft hold open for all these bags to be loaded into this aircraft. Man, it sure brings back so much memories being inside of it. Pause. And getting off the shuttle bus, we can get some nice close-up views of this stunner.
Wow!
As I climb a flight of those air stairs, look who I just encountered taxiing by. The Undisputed Champion, Queen of the Skies Boeing 747-8. I'll see you in the next 2 years. And here I am, ladies and gentlemen, seated at 14F, where you get an aligned view of this Rolls-Royce RB211 engine outside the window. Now let's start off the seat tour with the legroom, which I do have to say is absolutely amazing, especially when you're stretching out. In front of me, there is a seat pocket, a small unadjustable tray table, a striped vomit bag, in case you're feeling sick of these stripes, in-flight menu, and a magazine which I'll both take a look at when airborne. And finally, a safety card shown at the front and at the back. Also in front of me we have an in-flight entertainment featuring buttons in case you're bored and a dual headphone jack in case you want to do something extra with it. If you know, you know. The seat is comfortable with the sufficient amount of padding, however, no headrest. Beside of the seat there is a coat hook and an armrest without a recline button, as this seat doesn't recline. The windows are pretty much the same size as the 737 NGs as I lay my hand in front of it. Panel above my head there is a blowable air vent and a reading light just like what you would also see on those NGs. That's all from this long seat tour. We have made it to the end and that's all that matters. Time to get these engines up and running. Wow, what an engine startup. I'm liking how these engines don't waste time compared to the CFM LEAP 1As on the A320neos or the 737 Maxes, which take up to a grey hair. I know it's because of the motoring mechanisms, but still,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Alright guys, do me a quick favor, it only takes less than 30 seconds. Like this video right here, slap that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you guys want to be notified to more of my uploads, because by the end of this year, I want to get up to 500 subscribers. Thank you, and enjoy the takeoff. Alright, so here we are back again with a service starting at 35,000 feet. Prior to this flight, I ordered a vegetarian lacto-ovo meal where I had a small container of basmati rice with lentils and chickpea masala, along with 2 cups of beverages being water and OJ, a cute stripy box of appetizers, and a towel with wooden utensils inside.
Alright, taste test. 3, 2, 1. This is actually good, I won't lie.
After chopping this meal, I got up out of my seat to stretch my legs so I can try out
the loo review. Alright, so let's take a look. First things first, we got the loo itself. On my left, you have the wash hand basin along with the washing soap, the tissue, the sink to wash your hands, litter to litter your stuff. Let's got a coat hanger. You also got a board for a parent to change the baby. You also got a ashtray, obviously no smoking, you know what I mean? But yeah, headroom. Let's see what one. It's looking absolutely magnificent, you get me? Also, you got some lighting. So again, it looks good. Looks good. In pristine, kind of pristine condition. Even if anything, when I turn myself around like a merry-go-round, you can see that it is not restricted, unlike the ATR or the A320 or the 737. I mean, it's like similar to the Airbus A220 as well, more spacious.
Anyways, time for me to get my ass back onto my seat so I can lay some more hard facts about this Dash 300 variant. This variant depicts the flying pencil due to its length of 54.4 meters and can seat up to 280 passengers. However, it is the least popular variant as it only had 55 orders and deliveries compared to the Dash 200 at 913. Yep, it do be like that with the 767-400ER or the 747-8. I'm not gonna lie, this variant reminds me so much of Waluigi as he does have a lanky build and he's the least popular Mario character. It also reminds me of Luigi due to the fact that it is younger than Mario, whereas the Dash 300 had its first maiden flight in August of 1998 after the Dash 200 in February of 1982. Had this variant not been late in the game, it would have made decent sales. However, reality wouldn't want that to happen as airlines were pursuing other aircrafts like the A320 and the 737 NGs due to them being more flexible, efficient, and less frustrating in terms of passenger experience, especially when boarding, where it will take hours for it to complete the process. Hence why you can see some inconsistencies in terms of punctuality shown on Flight Radar. Or maybe it's just a Condor thing. Here I browse the in-flight magazine containing duty-free items such as fragrances, watches, skincare products, and lots more. I'm not going to waste any of your time going through all the pages, but you get the point. They also have an in-flight menu containing sambos, other meals, pastries, snacks, beverages, alcohol, and etc. Another exciting part about flying is encountering other aircrafts cruising by or along, just like this EasyJet A320 at cost heading over to Ibiza. And with the engine spin reducing its RPM, this gives me the indication that we are beginning our top of descent. With that being said, I'm going to let you guys go with a short cinematic touchdown along with my thoughts and conclusions on this flight and the aircraft itself. Bienvenidos a Palma de Majorca with a flight time of 1 hour and 40 minutes. From the start of this video, I did say I had low expectations. Well, let's say they exceeded immensely. The staff really impressed me, where they showed their hospitality, their kindness, their professionalism, and their friendliness towards other passengers. They were also quick with serving my pre-booked meal, which ended up being their most delicious meal I've ever tasted. The seat did a great job of making it comfortable and spacious in terms of low-cost standards, regardless of the lack of headrest, small non-retractable tray table, and the recline. As a person who's under 6 foot tall, this gives me the luxury to stretch out my legs as far as I can. Now, you're not going to find any in-flight entertainment screens or any Wi-Fi on board, so the only thing you're going to resort to is the physical in-flight magazine, which I'm glad they still have, because most airlines are going for the electronic option for the sake of efficiency. Overall, I'm gonna give this a rating of 8.5 out of 10. Well, actually, I'm gonna bump this up to a 9.5 out of 10, as I asked the staff if I can get a cockpit visit, and they said yes.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes!
Oh yeah, sure.
First and foremost, I would like to say Dankeschön to Condor for giving me this visit, especially when it's my first and last time flying that aircraft. One of the pilots told me that there were 2 or 3 people that visited the flight deck before me, which makes me either the 3rd or 4th visitor, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, here you can see some stunning shots of the cockpit itself. Had some few obvious questions and conversations with the pilots as well. And yeah, I even asked them about their thoughts on the livery, and they both said they liked it. Well, one of them liked it. I don't know about the other one, but I assumed the other one liked it anyway, so yeah. Anyways, time for me to say Auf Wiedersehen to the lovely crew.
Bro, man's chuffed. Man's chuffed. I wanted to do it. I really wanted to do it, and I got the opportunity. Delta Alpha Bravo, Oscar Mike. It's been a pleasure. It has definitely been a pleasure flying with you.
Alright, time to get out of the gates and give you my thoughts after flying this plane. The 757 was a dream to fly on. From a rapid fire engine startup to the tumultuous sounds of these powerful RB211s to a long spacious cabin, I do have to say I've had a lot of fun flying that aircraft. I honestly think it is way more fun than the 321, and I'm talking about the Neo, not the CEO. Don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic aircraft, but when juxtaposed to the 75, these engines straight up sound like a hairdryer. By 2025, Condor would have already retired them, and that's the reason why I wanted to hop on a flight. I didn't want to miss the opportunity and then spend over thousands of euros just to travel and stay in and around the States just for the sake of flying Delta or United 75s. I'm honestly not bothered, nor do I think it is ever feasible for me to go for that commitment, especially when I've got other things to put my money on. Of course, there's Ice Air, which are still operating their 757-300s, even though they were supposed to retire them by the end of October. But I think it's probably due to their A321LR being delayed, which I'm not surprised, as Hemorrhoids did the same thing with their A350. Anyways, that is it from this video. Again, if you've enjoyed it, like this video right there, slam that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you guys want to be notified to more of my uploads, and I'll see you a lot in the next one. Take care.